Captain Crabby was a young boy about 12 years of age. And as he was a young boy, he had gone into a closet that was behind his room. He didn't even know it growing up, and there was a door. And in that door, there was a place where he found a treasure map. And he took his knife and he opened up this door that was behind his bed. And this door went into a room. And he walked into that room. And as he walked into that room, there was a desk there. And the desk had 3 drawers on the right. And there was a big drawer, and you pull it out, and there was all sorts of little things. There were pens. There were pennies. Well, my son gave me this penny, and it was 1956. Well, that was when I was born. Well, I was 12 years old, and when I found that drawer and opened it up, you know what I found? There was a little box, and when I opened the box up, there was a treasure map. And you know what? Mr. Crabby, where are you? You were a part of that. Mr. Crabby became my trusted friend. And in the adventure, when I went down to where Mr. Crabby lived, I learned to trust Mr. Crabby. You know, because trust, children, is a beautiful part of life. And you learn to trust because your friend, a friend of you, is a friend who will trust you. Well, what does trust mean? Trust means that they don't lie to you. They say to you, I'm going to go buy some candy for you. And they come back and they ate it all themselves. That's not a good thing. If they said they were going to buy some candy and you got the candy and the other person smiled at you and gave you a big hug and loved you and enjoyed you. So, Mr. Crabby, are there some children out there that have wanted a friend they could trust, a friend that was there for them, a friend that would love them? Love does something in a friendship that makes your heart trust. We had to get to Costa Rica. And you went with me? Yes, you went with me, Mr. Crabby. And how did you get there? Well, I had a special box. Oh, yeah, the box that you bought for me so that I could be in there and have air and have water and have food. And Mr. Crabby, he lived in that box for quite a while, 4 or 5 hours. And then he got to Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, there's a place where you could go to where there was a beautiful beach. And that beautiful beach had all kinds of sand. And when we got there, they had a pool, a swimming pool. I like swimming pools. And we would wake up in the morning, and you know what was in the swimming pool? Frogs. What? What are frogs doing in my swimming pool? Well, I took a net, and I pulled this frog out, and I put him on the side, and I looked at it. It was about this big, and it was burp, 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 burp. Captain Crabby kind of looks like a frog, right? Burp, burp, burp. Well, Mr. Crabby, he looked in the pool and he says, there's crabs in there. What? There's no crabs in the pool. Yes, I see them in there. They're crawling around. So Captain Crabby jumped in the pool and he was standing. And as he was standing there, a crab climbed up his leg. And Captain Crabby went, what's a crab doing down there? First there was a frog, and then there was a crab in my pool. That crab in that pool, and that frog in that pool, it's because Costa Rica has lots of animals. They had these birds with beautiful feathers on them, and had monkeys, and these monkeys would throw things out of the trees at you, and they would eat these mangoes, And when they would eat a mango and they got done with it, they would take the seed and they'd throw it down at you. So Mr. Captain Crabby, he looked like a frog. Oh, and there was these monkeys in the trees there. They would throw and they would throw things down out of the trees and howl. They were howler monkeys, and they would go ooh, ah, ooh, and Mr. Krabby and Captain Krabby would look up and look at all of those monkeys. And one day they decided they were going to go on the adventure. A boat was coming to pick them up. And they were eating food there. They were eating, and there was these monkeys up there. And you walk towards the restaurant, and there was monkeys. And so we would stop and look up at the monkeys, and the monkeys would look at us, and we ate hamburgers, and the kids ate chicken. I had a little boy and two little girls, and they loved the chicken. And we got done eating, and we decided we would go out to where the boat was. A boat came through the waves, and the boat got right to the beach, and you had to get onto the boat in the middle of these waves. And the waves would crash against the boat, and you had to get into the boat on a seashore, and you get in the boat, and they would go to this island, and they went on the boat, and they went over the waves. And when they got over to where there was a beach, they had to back the boat up with the waves, and they got on the seashore. And Mr. Krabby came out with them on the seashore, and sure enough, you know what was there, Mr. Krabby? There was hermit crabs. And you know, like you like seashells? Well, the whole beach had crabs. And there was hundreds of these crabs. And they all had little seashells in them. And it was like the seashells that you see on a seashell, on a beach. All of these seashells were filled with crabs. It was Crab Island. Oh, wow, Crab Island. What an adventure, Mr. Krabby. And Mr. Krabby looked at all of the crabs, and they were inside the seashells. Look at that seashell. Isn't that a pretty one? And he would look inside of it, and he goes, where are you? Are you in there? Yes. Well, there was that one, and then there was another seashell. Oh, look at that seashell. That's a pretty seashell. And there would be a crab. Where is he? I think I see him. Oh, hi there. Hi. Knock, knock, knock. Are you in there? Yes. All of those crabs. There was hundreds of these crabs. And they were every little seashell. Big seashells, small seashells. And every time a crab got too big, it had to go into another home. They had to find another home. Yes, well, that's a big home. And then there's another home, and it's a little smaller. And then there's a White House. Ooh, a White House. Is that a presidential shell? Well, Mr. Krabby, he looked and he looked and he looked at all the crabs. And Mr. Krabby, what, can we eat something? Oh, yeah, are you hungry? Yes, Captain Krabby was happy. So they gave me some coconut milk, and I drank the coconut milk. And Mr. Krabby was chasing and running around looking for all of these crabs and these seashells and all of these hermit crabs. They would gather around to Mr. Krabby, and they would like to hear him sing that favorite song. Oh, the Lord is my light. And the crabs all gather around him to listen to him sing with Captain Krabby. Well, the two of them trusted each other, and they were good friends. A good friend you can sing with. A good friend you can laugh with. A good friend, you can tell stories to good friends, and you can be with them and share the secrets of your heart. And they never tell those secrets to other children. And Mr. Krabby, yes, were all of those crabs listening to you? Yes, they saw us, and they were not afraid of us. When you trust somebody, you're not afraid of them. Well, did we sing that song to him? Yes, your favorite song, Captain Krabby. You love that song, don't you? The Lord is my light. It was just a big rock, and all these little crabs, and they all stood around and listened. They'd never heard a Captain Crabby. They've never heard Mr. Crabby sing a song. And so they would sing and they would laugh, and the Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom then shall I be afraid? Sometimes you could sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, all of these little crabs, they'd never heard hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. And all the crabs, they were all standing around, and they would put their hands up, because they also had hands like Mr. Krabby, and they all put up their hands and they go, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, all those little crabs were all singing with their hands up, and Captain Crabby was laughing, and he was drinking coconut juice and eating mango and bananas and eating these fruits from Costa Rica. And the time came for a special moment. A special moment. Special moment. I love special moments. What special moment was coming? Well, the special moments, they would get in the boat, and it was they go out, and it started to get dark outside. And the boats put their lights on, and they would stop right in the middle of where the ocean was black. And all the children in the boat would get their little masks on, and Mr. Krabby, he didn't have any swimming masks. No, they don't have swimming masks for Krabby. There was no goggles, so he got on Mr. Krabby. He got on my shoulder, and he jumped in the water. And as he jumped in the water, you know what they saw? Fluorescent. It looked like the stars of the sky. And when you jumped in the ocean, there was all this fluorescent in the water, and it would sparkle and gleam and beautiful. And the children would look in there, and they would see it, and they would laugh, and they would jump around. And as soon as you moved, the water would go, and it would be full of sparkles. Well, those sparkles were so exciting for Mr. Krabby and Mr. They were having such a fun time and inside the ocean, and they loved to be able to be on the adventure and be with all of the little cool hermit crabs who lived inside a seashell.